Welcome back everyone to another Ikari Kenshin video. Today what we're going to be talking about is how to prep for phase 2.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now hold on. I know what you're thinking. It's not a sweaty prep, I promise. It's a preparation guide that is catered more towards casual gamers like myself. So don't freak out. I've compiled 5 items on this list that I think is necessary to finish before phase 2, because we only have 12 days until phase 2 is launched, so we don't have a whole lot of time, but you have just enough to get this stuff done. So let's get into the video. Alright everyone, the first thing on the list is getting your alts to level 25. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure everyone has a main, and if you so happen to have any alts now and you plan on playing them in phase 2, now is the time to try to push those guys up to 25. It doesn't take long to level their alts to 25 at all. I have 4 level 25s right now, and I'm working on my 5th one. It's my rogue. But the leveling process is very simple and quick, and there are plenty of ways to do it. You can dungeon grind, or you can do quests, or you can just grind mobs. There are a number of ways that you can get your level to cap for phase 2. Okay everyone, the second item on the list is professions. So if you haven't gotten your professions up to 150, it is almost essential that you do that. I mean, if you plan on actually using your professions for anything, which why wouldn't you, right? So we want to get our professions up to 150. That includes your secondary professions as well. So what we're talking about is fishing, cooking, and your primary professions. For example, mine is leatherworking. So what you guys want to do is get that up to 150 on at least your main. There's no rush for you to get it up on your alts if that's not a priority for you. But on your main, you at least want to get your professions up to 150. Alright guys, so this next part we're going to be talking about is going to be reputation with your respective factions. And the reason for this is because, as I'm sure a lot of you know, if you do not know, in phase 2, once you hit level 40, you'll be able to get a mount. Now, in the original in the original classic WoW era, the cost for riding skill and your mount was actually pretty expensive. But Blizzard has actually cut the cost for those two things. So in this version of the game, in Season of Discovery, if you get your reputation up to at least honored, you're going to see a significant discount in the amount that you'll have to pay for your mount and your riding skill. So what I suggest is you do as many quests as you can with the city that you wish to get a mount from. For me, it's an orc. So anybody that gives you quests that is an orc is going to most likely give you reputation with Orgrimmar. So for trolls, it would be Darkspire trolls. Undercity, it would be undead. And Thunderbluff, that will be Tauren. So if you decide that you want a mount from another horde city, then you have to go and do quests for that particular city. Now keep in mind, some races are not able to use certain mounts. Like Taurens, they are not able to use horses. The undead horses are not available for Tauren to use. So just keep that in mind. Some races cannot use certain mounts. Obviously, you don't want a giant Tauren on a horse. That's just weird. But yes. So in this you can go to your riding trainer, instructor, and they'll show you how much it costs. It's actually, with my discount, since I am honored with Orgrimmar, it is going to be 8 gold to train my riding skill. And it is going to cost me 32 gold. Shut up, you. It's going to be 32 gold to buy my mount. So, all in all, it's gonna run you 40 gold if you are honored with that faction that you want the mount from. It's gonna cost you 40 gold to get your mount and your riding skill. The next thing on the list is actually your runes. So, if you guys have not collected all of the runes for your class, I suggest that something that you look into doing. Now, you don't have to, but we don't know how these runes are going to work later on in the game, the next phase or the phase after that, right? So something for me as a hunter, like the Lone Wolf rune, which I do not have, that's the last rune that I need to get, and I'll get to that in just a second why I haven't gotten it, but that isn't really utilized right now in phase 1, but it could be in the future. So it is a good idea to get those runes now while you still can get them at a decent price. And when I say that, the cost for the last rune is the Dark Iron Ordnance and the Shredder, I'm not sure what they're called, but that stuff, and then the fish oil. So the thing is, when phase 2 comes out, the items that you need for your last rune are probably going to be more expensive because there's going to be less people doing it. So if you would like to have that last rune, what you want to do, I think it's actually a very good idea, is to try to get those items now. Get into groups that farm the ordinances, see if you can get a friend that is an engineer to make the chargers for the shredder items that you need. They can give you those things, and you can go into Stone Talon Mountains and farm those items from the shredder machines. And the fish oil is very easy. I actually have a farming video that you can actually get fish oil drops from, and I can link that in the description below. But yes, I really suggest that everyone get all the runes that they can before phase 2 launches, because it is going to be harder for you to get the materials for those runes unless you wait until you hit level cap of 40 and then you can just go farm it yourself. That's not a bad idea either, but for those of you who would like to have your runes before phase 2, I suggest that you take these steps. Alright guys, this next part, it's farming. It's gold farming. Now, I know, you're like, Kenshin, I don't feel like doing that shit. But, listen, remember that thing I was talking about, what was it? Mounts? Yeah. So you're gonna need money for mounts. So if you don't have enough of that, you're going to have to farm. I have a few videos actually that I will link in the description below that would help with that. But you don't have to farm super sweaty. It's not something that you really have to do a whole lot of all of the time. You just want to do just enough to get the gold that you need in order to afford your mount. So what you want to do is try some of those areas that I have in my videos to farm in. You can get greens from them, you can get blues, but most importantly, you can get raw gold or silver, and you can get cloth. Cloth is always going to be something consistent. There's always going to be cloth that's going to be needed on the auction house. People are always going to be buying cloth. So what you can do is, if you get cloth, like silk cloth from some of the spots that I farm, you can actually sell the cloth on the auction house for a decent amount of money, and you can just keep farming that. You can sell that. You can use the method of maybe making bandages. So if you're good on wool bandages, just make wool bandages with the wool that you get from farming and just sell them to vendors because they actually sell for a decent amount. The idea is to just have just enough money to be able to get your mount, and to be honest, you don't need the full amount right at the launch of the next phase because you still have to level those 15 levels. So once you get from 25 to 40, if you just have after the money that you would need for the mount, then you could be well off once you hit 40 because the quests are going to give you gold, and once you hit 40, the other quests are going to give you gold as well instead of experience, so you'll get more, even more money. So I think that is a good idea to just farm at least half of the amount of money that you would need for your mount for phase 2. Okay guys, so as we are bringing the video to a close, I have 1 or 2 more optional things that you could do in order to prepare for phase 2. The first thing is going to be grinding your Warsong Outriders reputation. Now if you're Alliance, then it is, I can't remember the faction because I don't fuck with Alliance like that. If you're Horde, it's Warsong Outriders, and what you might want to do if you're done all of those other things and we still have time, then you can grind out your reputation by doing Warsong Gulch, or you can do the Ashen Veil event up until Revered. So you can do Ashen Veil up until Revered, but after that, the only way that you'll get reputation from that event is handing in the drums. So after you hit Revered, you'll have to go back into Warsong Gulch to grind the rest of the reputation. But it's gonna be a good payoff because if you grind this reputation and you come to the supply officer, they do they have it available right now? Dude, shut up. For Revered, they have weapons. They have weapons that are really good upgrades if you had bad luck in BFD, and you could use some cheap weapons. These things are, it looks like 2 gold. So they have daggers, swords, they have staves and bows. And at level 40, they're actually going to be epic bracers for each class. So when I say class, I mean each level of material wares. So leather, plate, cloth, there's going to be a specific type of epic bracers for each one. So, and I think that they're actually gonna be this, I'm not sure, because we don't know what the gear is gonna look like from like quests or dungeons in the next phase, but it wouldn't hurt to have a pair of epic bracers with some sick stats on them. So that is another thing that you guys could do. You also get rings and necklaces going into level 40. Level 38 is the level that you get them. So you see here, Legionnaire's Band gives you 8 strength, 8 agility, and 5 stamina. And then the medallion gives you 11 agility and 7 stamina. Now these look like they could be best for some people because, like I said, if you have not so great luck in PFD, then you can definitely get some gear by doing PvP. And then also if PvP is your thing, then there you go. The last thing I want to talk about, this was an extra one that I put on the list, and that was your Nomergon teleporter quest. And what I've actually made a video on how to get that done. Basically what it is just you do 1 or 2 prerequisite quests that will get you access to the Nomergon raid. And I think that would be really helpful to know how to get that done when phase 2 actually launches. You can't do it right now. You have to wait until phase 2 launches, but knowing what to do in order to get into Nomergon is going to be very helpful, and you'll be able to have access to Nomergon. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful, and it's been great. Phase 1 has been awesome. I had such a good time, and it's actually kind of bittersweet to see that phase 1 is ending in 12 days. But I was thinking about doing a video. about my experience in phase 1. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet, but it could be a thing. So maybe stay tuned for that. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I make videos every week. So, with that being said, guys, have a good week, and I'll catch you on the next one.